All right, guys, we're gonna get started in just a second. Waiting for everybody to join up, and then we'll continue with this. All right. So as you guys can see here, we're looking at ES, and one second. All right. Okay. All right. Good morning, everyone. So as we see here, overnight we kind of, you know, pushed higher here, right? So near the end of the day yesterday, we had this rally, right? From this point towards this highs right here. So we had this huge gap down, as I mentioned, um, that we were supposed to be looking for. But the problem was we never took out this low here to confirm, a high quality reversal for the upside. And so it became very tricky to, try shorting these fair value gaps here because we know that there's a gap above and price can again continuously push for that gap, right? So it becomes a, low probability scenario. But price did nevertheless end up pushing in towards that gap up here, right? The daily opening gap, and it eventually filled it, and it ran up to take out this high here, right? So this high here was of large interest, and that's where price eventually went to. So um, now we took out buy side liquidity, right? We took out buy side liquidity here, and we ended up breaking these lows, right? Taking out these lows here, with the fair value gap, and price basically pulled back into the fair value gap, as you guys could see here, for a continuation to the downside, right? Here. So we see here, right, this fair value gap right here that price pushed into, and also this area is a new weekly opening gap right here. So this is Friday's close and Sunday's open, right? That's what the gap is referring to. So that's the area that price is in currently, and I think that we can get a continuation or reaction out of this area, right? Let me fix something real quick, guys. One second. All right, cool. So we could continue rejecting this area and have a continuation to the downside, right? Maybe till um, this low here. So this 40.96 might be of importance going into today's session, right? That's one way to be looking at price here, right? We took out the highs, now we can go take out the lows, right? Um, but it's definitely a tricky scenario because tomorrow is CPI data dropping, and it's it sets up for a low probability trading day for today, right? So that's where you have to be extra careful today when trading, right? Again, CPI tomorrow, they could really just consolidate the entire time. What the scenario might be for today is that we might push one more time and take out the high before continuing lower, right? Just to completely take out liquidity on both sides again, right? If that doesn't happen, if these highs don't get taken out and we just drop, then I'm looking to see, like, if I see an aggressive drop, I'm just gonna go target these lows down here, right? So that would be, the main objective that I'd be potentially looking for today's trading day. Very low probability day. I'm just gonna, lower my expectations to begin with, and because I understand that, again, we have CPI data dropping, right? And it's not going to be a super high confidence day, right? So it's just, you have to protect your capital as much as possible in days like this. But what would be really ideal is just if we continue pushing lower off these areas here, right? We rejected the fair value gap. We took a 15-minute rejection, right? It's below the EMAs, and so we can continue for the downside into potentially um, these equal lows here, right? This equal low, this equal low, and eventually this 40.9650 sell side. That would be the most ideal scenario for today's trading day. So, yep. With that being said, that's it for ES. Also with SPY as well, same thing. Again, the gap, right? We're still gonna gap up slightly on price today. If we maintain these highs, we're slightly gonna gap up, but I don't know how that's gonna play out right now. So we'll see what price does off open, right? We're gonna analyze what price does off open, and then we'll take the best setup. I'm really mainly looking to trade from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. because that's when the best setup is for me, at least. And if there's not a high quality setup at that time that I can't catch, then I'm going to be trading after 1:30 p.m. today. I'm not going to be trading all day here whatsoever, right? That's just pointless. Let's go over Tesla here. So Tesla from yesterday's levels played perfectly, as you guys know. We gapped down and we pressed lower in towards this level, and then we eventually bounced off that pivot point, broke that, retested it, held it, and continued higher. So these pivot points that I've been drawing out here have been absolutely been crushing it, right? So you guys should be paying attention to these, right? Utilize these pivot points for reversals and continuation. So what I'm again expecting right now, we're up here, right? We're up in this zone here, and these are going to be my pivot points, right? To see how price wants to react. Again, we're opening with a gap, right? We're opening with a gap, and we'll see if you want to retrace back and continue higher or whatever the case may be. So what I see though is this huge broadening pattern here. Huge broadening pattern that we're above right now. We broke it. So as long as we hold it, we can push higher. If we break back below this, right? So I'd be looking at this zone here. If we break below this zone, so break back into structure, we can see a continuation lower, again utilizing these pivot points once more. Right. So you're going to be looking at this area here for price to hold on Tesla, this 184 level. Let's go over Apple. Just gonna go over Apple and then I'll call it here. So we see Apple again dropped, but didn't have the same reaction as ES did. Right, we did go into that gap here, and there's still a huge gap above. Right, that Tesla did. So Tesla completely went back and filled the gap. So did ES. Right, but Apple did not do that. Right, so it just held off and just consolidated a little bit. Pretty much weaker price action, right, compared to Tesla or whatever the case may be. So what we're looking for here now is just utilizing these pivot points to see where price can potentially go to next, right? If it's still below 162, if it's still holding below that level, we can see continuation lower. But if the entire market decides to rally, we can see a continuation higher in towards this gap. So that would be the main thing I'm watching for on Apple. But with that being said, that concludes my I know it was short. I just wanted to go over SPY really. I'm not really going to trade any other thing. I'm just looking at SPY here again. Just looking for that continuation potentially to the downside off that fair value gap, so that's buy side liquidity getting taken out. So buy side liquidity. We have our shift. So MSS, and then we have our pullback in towards our, into the fair value gap and new weekly opening gap up there. And then we can see continuation to the downside potentially. Now, it's in a conflicting scenario somewhat because there's a bullish fair value gap right here, right, that could support price. And that's fine, I understand that. So we'll see again, right? We'll see at 9:30 what really happens. I want to see a continuation potentially, but if you run these highs one more time, that would be an ideal short in my opinion. With that being said, guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that in terms of growing this channel. And so, with that being said, that's it for today's session. Pre-market tomorrow as well, right? So I'm gonna do again a little earlier, right? Let me see if there's news today as well, so I can update you guys on that. There's at 6 p.m. there's FOMC member Harker speaks. I don't know who that is. So I don't think it's really relevant to our today's trading price action, but CPI again tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. That's gonna be the biggest thing that people are gonna be looking for. And yeah, so just trade safe, trade smart today, right? Don't size too heavy. Again, it's probably going to be a very low probability day, right? So no reason to, push the needle. Try to push the needle today, right? Just size light, stay light, and save yourself a lot of money. If anything, if you're a beginner trader, it would just be recommended that you don't trade and rather observe price more than anything, or even just paper trade, right? So. But yeah, guys, that's it from me today, guys. Again, make sure you guys leave a like. Turn on your notifications on Twitter because I'm going to be posting a lot of threads today. There's going to be a huge thread coming out today. So make sure you guys are turning on your notifications for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's session. Peace out.